Start up. Are we live?
We're live.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Walkie-Talkie. I am Chris and this is my wife,
Jillian.
We are riding high today in Pinellas County. We are at our favorite park, John Chesnut Park.
Oh, I know what I want to talk about today.
What would you like to talk about today, love?
I want to talk about birds.
And which bird would you be referring to?
Well,
would it be
not the Cardinals.
No. Would it be...
And not the Seahawks.
No, definitely not. Peacock, maybe? No peacock? No?
Definitely not ravens.
No.
We don't even have ravens in Florida. We have crows in Florida.
That's right. We don't have any ravens around here, do we? I don't think so.
We do have Cardinals and Seahawks at this park, which is why I thought it would be funny to bring them up. And very seldomly, but it does happen, there are eagles around here. I haven't seen them at this park.
No, I don't think I've ever seen an eagle at John Chesnut. We do see quite a bit of the Seahawks around here, though.
Yeah, ospreys, Seahawks. They have another name. I forget.
Some limpkin owls we see here.
Oh, yeah. Where's Tally?
I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah. Well, we saw him the one day, but a couple of days ago, but he was kind of far off. Difficult to catch him on cam.
He's very uncommon when we come walking here. So
he's always watching, though.
Yeah, for sure. Good morning.
Good morning.
I hear some birdies. But yeah, so anyway, yeah. Eagles, birds is what I want to talk about. Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley isn't a bird. He's a man. Although you could argue after last night that he's more than a man. Way more than a man.
He's superhuman.
Yeah, he definitely is in a rare category of men, for sure.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Hi there. Oh, I like your shirt. Nice beaver.
I
Nice
think
beaver.
as an Eagles fan, I've been watching Eagles football for coming up on 30 years now, and don't think I've ever seen a running back ever play to that level. 300 yards from scrimmage between running, which I think he had 255 yards running, and 50 yards passing. What insane performance. Like, he's just on a level where I don't know how you can't say he's the MVP for not only the Philadelphia Eagles, but for the entire NFL.
Yeah, so the first, he got that 70-yarder, the 70-yard rushing touchdown, and then a 72-yard rushing touchdown.
Yeah, that was the opening play for the half. So it's absolutely crazy. Morning.
Hi there, thanks for your service.
Yeah, that was the first play after the halftime.
Was the 72-yarder?
What's the 72-yarder? I believe it was 72. And then he had another one later on, and I don't know many people who have one 72-yard touchdown, let alone two in one football game. It's pretty absurd.
Yeah, and then after running 72 yards, looking like he's not even trying, by the way, for like the last 30 yards of it. Just nobody could keep up with him at all. And he goes in the end zone and he just leaps into the air like a gazelle, just for fun. I just ran 72 yards. I'm going to jump 4 feet into the air for fun.
I watched him give away the game ball that he had just, gotten his career high for rushing yards, and he just gave the ball away. I was shocked by that.
Oh, and that girl that was in the stands she's going, Saquon, Saquon. And he runs over and signs her jersey for her, and she's breaks down crying.
Yeah, you know what? He's just an amazing human being, start to finish. I feel like he's having a good time in Philadelphia. He was trending number 1 on Twitter this morning, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What is the Twitter sphere saying about Saquon Barkley?
Well, what I thought was really touched my heart was that I saw about Saquon Barkley saying about himself on Twitter. Actually, he didn't mention himself at all. He mentioned the O-line. He said something along the lines of, how about those boys in the front?
Yep. And the entire Eagles team seems like they're, oriented that way as a team where they kind of, cover each other. They support each other, and they acknowledge each other being a team. That's how you have to be in the NFL. You have to love your teammates and, point out when they help you to succeed, because you're pretty much nothing without them.
Yeah, there's no I in team, but I think like in the NFL, you see a lot of me. And so it's great when you can see people being humble, showing humility around their teammates, lifting each other up. I feel like very happy about the way that folks behave that way on the Birds, it seems to me. Our players are about lifting each other up, and I love that.
Yeah, I feel like the Eagles as a team care a lot about character and that team mentality more so than other teams. Cowboys.
Well, the Cowboys had a really good day yesterday too, though, didn't they?
They did. It was a glorious day. We appreciate their effort. That was a crazy football game, the Commanders and Cowboys game. Me and my son had to watch the replay and the ending of the game multiple times because we were like, wait, how many huge plays were there in like 2 minutes? So it was bonkers at the end of the game.
Well, I know that you told me you're not supposed to. There's rules against tanking your season for draft position.
They frown on it in the NFL for sure.
And so you're not supposed to do that. But I think the general consensus was that was what the Cowboys were kind of aiming for.
Yeah.
But, going after the command. I can't say the Commanders.
I just saw that.
There's such a hard time with it.
I saw that a senator was making a comment about the name being wokeness gone awry during 2020 and pushing to have the Redskins name returned back. What do you think of that?
I mean, for me personally, I feel like the level of irony of erasing what is really a sign of respect, naming the team after Native Americans, because Native Americans are strong and tough and formidable. And I think that that's awesome. And then they replace that name, though, determining that it's somehow racist or offensive. But they replace that name with Commander, which would be the white man who came through and attacked and eliminated as many Native Americans as they could. That makes zero sense to me.
Well, I hope that they're successful in returning the logo back. The tribe who the Redskins represent, I'm not sure the name, they have been complaining for years about what you just said, about how they've been erased and that they're no longer celebrated the same way. When I'm on the subject, I think it was Uncle Ben's Rice, something like that.
Yes.
And Aunt Jemima were both businesses who I believe the people who created them were African American. And I don't know what to say about the idea of like changing their name in the name of racism to disappear them. Like that feels like the opposite of what we should be doing. But we're off in the weeds here at this point, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a contentious topic, but at the same time, I do think that it's important to acknowledge that there is the concept of cultural appropriation and stereotypes, but there's also the idea of erasure. And I think that erasing your past just leaves you doomed to repeat it.
Agreed. And yeah, like bad things were done by people throughout history. Slavery has been around for eternity, actually, and it's an awful practice. And if we don't remember those things and keep them in mind, they'll come back around again. So I'm with you, and I like that idea. Like the idea of erasure being put in there as something to talk about. There's got to be some middle line between them two that I feel like would be best for everyone to feel represented and respected and to have their place moving forward. And that's my feeling on it.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the Cowboys versus, I'm just going to call them the Redskins.
Yeah.
Let's
call them the Redskins.
That's
we'll
what
start
I
a
do
revolution.
all the time. I usually call them the Skins.
I'm unafeared of being canceled. Speaking of that, you can try.
But yeah, so supposedly the Cowboys were unofficially trying to tank their season for better draft position. And
They couldn't even do that right.
the Eagles are neck and neck with the Redskins for the top position. And what do the Cowboys do is they pull a win out of their butt when they least wanted it or needed it. And I do think that if the Cowboys were looking to help or harm someone in their own division, they would prefer to help the Skins and harm the Eagles.
Everyone hates the Eagles in that division, pretty much. That's a given.
Yeah, so it really feels like it was kind of a hilarious. Usually I'm rooting for the Cowboys to lose, but yesterday was pretty great.
It sure gave me a chuckle. You know, I have to say that the Cowboys, when they signed Ezekiel Elliott a few years ago for some ludicrous contract, and then they held out forever, and then they had to pay, I believe it was CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott both at the same time. They dragged their feet on it and had to overpay for both of them. And this is the reason why the Cowboys continue to lose to the Eagles. A big portion of it is the fact that I just feel like the front office of the Eagles makes decisions efficiently. They swoop in, and pun intended,
Swoop!
And they sign people when they know they're on the upswing. And listen, man, they're not all perfect. They mess up occasionally, and they have poor choices that way. But generally speaking, it helps them to keep their salary cap in a manageable state. And that's why they got such a baller team the last couple of years, no matter what goes on, because they've got room. They're smart about it. And that is a huge area of struggle. Thank God for Jerry Jones. That man is a blessing in disguise for all Birds fans everywhere. God bless that man. May he live to be 100. And I hope he continues GMing the team forever.
Can I just say also along those same lines is that
some birdies here.
I really just cannot comprehend how anyone would pick up the phone when Howie calls.
Yeah, you would think you've been taken for a ride a few times. False alarm.
There's definitely a guy up there.
I think he's a Wren. I don't think he's...
Wrens are not super interesting.
No, they're also not really sociable.
I'll wait till they yell at me.
Yeah, usually they'll screech before.
Yeah, and whenever we'll walk down and we'll hear the birds will start tweeting us and they'll start crabbing. They'll go, rah, rah, rah.
They do.
And that's how we know, oh, they're hungry. We got to stop and feed them.
Yeah. Take care of my birdies.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if I see Howie Roseman on my caller ID, I'm like, no matter what he says, I am not trading with him. That's what I would say to myself. And then to pick up the phone, I wonder if he like hypnotizes them. Like, what does he do?
Is there anyone who can bring an example up and put it in the comments if you can think of one, of someone who has fleeced Howie Roseman so badly that he was ashamed or embarrassed by it? If you can, put it in the comments, because I can put 10 of them, especially Saquon Barkley, on the side of Howie Roseman fleecing someone else, but them fleecing him, I can't really think of many, man.
I'm just like, I want to bring up my tweet that I did about...
Fire it up,
because we had this conversation. So a few months ago, I'm on X and I see Saquon Barkley's trending. And I click on it and I see that the Eagles just got him from the Giants. And I was like, what?
Are you
what?
chasing the deer away? Good morning.
Probably.
I think I can hear them out in the woods out there.
I do hear them.
Either that or it's a bunch of drunk men running around back there.
No, it's probably deer. Or Giants fans that drank themselves into a stupor.
It's the GM for the Giants. He got fired and he's in the woods drunk now.
Like Sasquatch.
Like Sasquatch. He's been banished from New York.
So anyway, so when I saw that had been tweeted about Saquon being traded to the Eagles, I remember that I was asking you what happened to Saquon Barkley. And you were like, what do you mean? What happened to him? I'm like, well, is something wrong with him?
He was incredible. That's what happened to him.
Yeah,
then he ended up on the Giants. Sorry.
I'm like, what was wrong? Like, what's wrong with him? Why did the Giants trade him away? Is there something wrong with him or the Giants just morons?
Yes.
Fast forward to today, and you have your answer.
Come over here.
Hey, how about those Bucks?
Yeah. It's been...
Watch this time, and it's
I told them, did you write them a memo that I won't be watching? It's okay for them to win.
They seem to know that anyway.
I enjoyed the Bucks. I like Baker Mayfield quite a bit, actually.
Oh man, he is.
Getting to like them.
I liked him before. I thought he was a little immature, and it seems like he's kind of come into his own. And he's a man a little bit more and more of a team player than he used to be. And he's really, he's settled in. He's like blossoming right now. Good on him.
One of the best quarterbacks we've ever had.
Well, I'm an Eagles fan. I watched him eviscerate the Eagles earlier this year. Yeah, it was a clinic. I said in the beginning of the game, if you want to absolutely crush the Eagles, just run slants on them. And the first 2 drives was all slants, and it was the easiest 14 points I've ever seen a team score on the Birds. It was so bad.
Would that be Todd Bowles, the coach?
Yes, Todd Bowles was a former Eagles coach. He was a defensive coordinator. I think he was a cornerbacks coach way back in the day, and then he graduated up to defensive coordinator. And then I think when Andy Reid got fired from the Eagles, he was the coach for them for a couple of games. So he's been all over the place, and he just knows the Eagles in and out. So he crushes us every time we play each other. He lives rent-free in the Eagles' head. Todd Bowles does, for sure. Little limpkin over there.
Yeah.
He's so cute.
Well, we're going to get walking here.
Yeah.
Y'all have a lovely day. It was wonderful talking to you.
Yeah.
Come.
Bucks, go Birds.
Yeah. Well, that was a fun conversation. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. I like the random conversations with people.
I wonder if that would annoy channel goers or they would be fascinated to listen. Huh? Can't tell, really. Guess we'll find out.
I guess it depends on the conversation.
Yeah.
Oop. Yeah. Okay.
Hi, good morning.
Molly.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was your old stomping ground, right? Why don't you talk about that for a little bit?
Oh yeah. Well, I never actually got to go to Denali or I think its American name is Mount McKinley.
Ooh.
Which is in central Alaska.
Wasn't McKinley the guy who bought Alaska? I don't remember.
Maybe.
I have to fact check myself later.
Yeah. I have forgotten all the things that I learned about Alaska when I lived there 20 years ago.
Yeah. A lot of drinking and marijuana will do that to you. Whoopsie.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
Gotta do something to keep myself sane in this world.
Yeah, but I never actually made it over to Denali National Park because it's like 500 miles from Fairbanks, which is where I was living in Alaska. But on a clear winter day, you could see Mount McKinley from Fairbanks, 500 miles away.
Wow.
And it was quite dramatic, from 500 miles away.
That's crazy, man. 500 miles away. I can't even wrap my head around that.
We thought we were going to be living there for a few years, so I didn't really jump into action to go visit it. And then we ended up moving away before I got to see it.
Well, that's a shame. Good morning, y'all.
What a cutie. Hey, buddy.
Hey, hello.
Ah, he's a nice one. He's a nice one. Yeah. What a pretty brindle coat you have.
He's semi-brindle. He had the black factor turned up on the brindle, right? And the brown
and his
turned down.
fur was a little bit longer too for for a pit bull.
Good morning. You want to check and see if your monarch butterfly casing is over here?
My monarch butterfly.
We'll get back to
Let's go.
Denali and Alaska some other time when we do a little deep dive into our deep memory.
Yeah, I'm not fished out with my football conversation.
Yeah, we'll get back to that as well.
But I do want to check on. He's still there.
Is he?
Yeah, but he's still green. He's still super, super green.
I can't really get a good image. It's in the women's bathroom.
Well, he looks just like. We'll post my picture up there and tell everyone
we'll post the picture back up again.
It looks just like the picture that
you can see what looks like a strange green casing there. It's
I bet this kid would like it, though.
highlighting to it. It's absolutely amazing. We online on Instagram, I think it was. We figured out that it was a monarch butterfly in the larval form. So apparently it'll turn black. You said and.
Well, I saw, so what I did was I posted the picture to Instagram and I hashtagged it with chrysalis. assuming that it
is
was
that what gave it to you? Chrysalis, huh?
I assumed it was a chrysalis.
That's a cool one.
I'd never seen it before, one that looked like that before, but it looked enough like one that I was like,
Is it chrysalis or chrysalis? I don't know.
oh, I don't know.
I love that word, by the way. So cool.
Anyway, so I posted that, and then after I posted it, I wondered, did I use the right word, right? So I tapped chrysalis, and all that showed up, the entire feed, was just monarch butterflies.
Cool.
So they were all that little cocoon changing into the monarch. And what it showed was the green, like I saw some time lapses of it. So it's this little green jade looking thing with stuff that looks like it's painted with like liquid gold.
So cool.
And
It did
then
look like
as
gold.
it gets
Good
bigger,
morning.
it turns black, like the black that's in the monarch.
Mm.
And then as it gets even bigger, you start to see the orange of the monarch peeking through. And so it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it looks more and more like a monarch in a plastic bag.
That's kind of weird, man. I'm not
And
gonna
the
lie.
green is totally gone.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
I love the information age, man. There's pretty much nothing you can't figure out now.
I wasn't even, the funny thing is I was going to look it up, but I didn't even have to. I didn't even try to look it up. It just kind of the information ended up in my face.
Well, that's the best kind of information.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Hi there. Baby.
Hello, chickadee. Did we bring the peanuts with us?
Yeah. I have peanuts.
I did not. Don't tell the park ranger. Shh. Your secret is safe with me.
It is illegal to feed the birds at the parks. It is technically. I don't care.
You got to put it in the comments if you know what your secret is safe with me means, where that's from.
I don't know what it means.
I figured you might not.
I'm going to have to wait for somebody who comments on the video.
That's correct. It could be months. You'll forget. Trust me. See, he thought it was funny.
laughed at it.
He liked that. Joke's on you, pal.
Actually, all I could think was Beavis and do a little breaking the law, breaking the law.
What's that bird out there? You see him?
Where?
There.
There's some kind of, like a duck?
He's definitely
Oh,
not a
I
duck.
see. The heron.
It's a heron of
It's a
some
great
sort.
heron.
Great heron?
Yeah. Come over here, guy. I thought you meant that, whatever that is. He's hunting.
I love how their heads sway in the breeze like a vine or something. Make them look like they're part of the environment. Little tail wiggle.
The gentle swaying of a reed. Is it the moorhens?
Yeah, I think they're coming over.
They're telling him not to come over. The moorhens are like, stay out of here.
I love the noises they make.
I don't see them. I hear them, but I do not see them.
Yeah, they're very loud, unfortunately. They're cute little creatures, but they're hella loud. Not in a good way.
I just think that they sound whiny.
They do.
Like, bark, bark. I'm sad. I'm sad.
Nobody wants to hear you whining. Take your peanut and shut up. That's what you get when you call the bird suicide hotline. Is this moorhen again? You've called here 4 times this week. Stop whining. I kid. That was kind of morbid. I apologize to anyone who's suicidal.
I couldn't help but think, as you said, the bird suicide line, I was like, wait, the bird suicide line hasn't had anything to do for 7 weeks.
I see what you did there. It was a good segue back into the football subject.
Yeah, I'm
I really like that.
Yeah, give me the football back.
All right. The rock is in your hands. You can pound the rock. You taking point?
Pound the rock. Beat the
Pound
dead
the
horse.
rock. Beat the dead horse. That's the Broncos, not the Eagles, right? I wonder if we got footage of us rocking on the chair over there by the water, if people would enjoy it or if they would get nauseated from it. Could be like the fisheye lens with the swinging. People could be like projectile vomiting.
I don't want to be rude or anything, but I don't know that I care what other people enjoy. I'm having fun. You can come along and enjoy my fun with me. Or not. It's no pressure.
So are you going to have the devil may care attitude?
It's no pressure. Because I'm a chill guy.
Morning. Chill guy. No, you're not. Don't start with that guy. Unchill guy.
Unchill. Unchill Jill.
I liked flaming him online. That was quite fun. So we were talking birds. You have the ball. You're standing there. The defense is collapsing on us. Let's go.
I dropped the ball.
Yeah, you definitely fumbled the ball. Pick it up.
I fumbled it. Well, I didn't really know what I wanted to return back to talking about.
We were talking about the Cowboys.
Yeah, well, we were talking about the Cowboys.
Spectacular season.
Yes, how they're trying to tank their season.
They won't admit it, but they are.
They went and accidentally won against the Redskins. Accidentally won against a powerhouse team from this season. Seems kind of weird in their division. Just seems really weird.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and make a prediction that the Redskins are not as good as people think they are.
Yeah.
Just my hunch.
They're
a pretty good team. They're decent, but they are not world beaters, right?
I agree.
Their record actually seems slightly better than I'd put them overall as a team. Put it that way. At this point in the season.
I agree, but at the same time, I don't know. I hesitate to say anything about a division team because I feel like it's just bias. So I have a hard time being clear-headed analytics about anybody in our division.
It's actually really wise of you. And I also want to mention that, they have a brand new team and a brand new coach, and they're figuring themselves out, and they gave the Eagles a hell of a fight. So I'm not saying they're not a good team. I'm just saying they're rough around the edges at this point. And in another 1, maybe 2 seasons, they'll be a playoff contender for sure.
Yeah.
But for now, I just feel like they're a little green. They're kind of like building the plane as they fly.
They wish they were green.
Yeah, Eagles green, baby.
They've been playing for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then they won it in 2000.
And it is actually difficult to be non-biased towards other teams in the division, for sure.
Well, what was the other thing? Oh, the other thing I wanted to talk about. I wasn't sure if you were done talking about Saquon yet, but I wanted to talk about Brandon Graham.
Yeah, I love Brandon Graham. I'm rather partial to him for the Super Bowl sack of Tom Brady. I'll forever love that man. And not to mention, I watched him get drafted years ago and was kind of high on the pick. When the draft process went around, I read up a bit on him. Pretty excited about it. He's had a hell of a career in Philly. Let's get a beautiful view of this here, ready?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Is there any gators down here? Laters, gator. Laters, baby.
Later, skaters.
Is that true what you told me yesterday, that 50 Shades of Grey was fan fiction for Twilight originally?
That's what I read. What's her name? Is it R.L. James? What?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm blanking on.
We'll
50
fact
Shades.
check ourselves later.
But yeah,
Let's swap up here. It'll be a good bit.
that's what I read, was that it was fan fiction. And the funny thing that I pointed out was that when I read Twilight, I did not know that about 50 Shades. And I literally read 50 Shades directly after reading Twilight. So somehow in my soul, I already knew it was true. I was like, I want more Twilight. I'll read 50 Shades. Yeah.
You're like, this is like a sequel, but not nearly as good. Which is what all fan fiction ends up being.
No, but I don't know. I really liked 50 Shades.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like people who say that it's trash or whatever probably haven't actually read it.
I don't know. I'm kind of ambivalent on it, although I like Christian Grey as a character. Say what you will about me, but I like him. So, morning. How y'all doing? Good. All right. Turtles.
See any good creatures?
Oh, yeah.
2 alligators over there.
Oh, really? Oh,
2 turtles right there.
Sweet.
There's an alligator out of the water over that bridge.
oh, cool.
Right by that.
Yeah, where he likes to lay on the bank there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's usually right in, in the
usually
water
in the
next to
water.
the bridge.
Yep.
Well, it's out.
Cool.
Sweet.
All right.
Sweet. I'm on it.
Sunning time.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Sunny time for everybody.
Well, it's a chilly morning.
Yeah, for sure. Have a
You
great
too.
Thanksgiving, y'all. Speaking of Thanksgiving, Unless you want to continue talking about your 50 Shades of Grey comment.
No, I was more wanting to talk about Brandon Graham, not 50
Yeah.
Shades,
Whoa.
Whoa, what was that?
I don't know, man.
That was big.
I think we may have gotten it. It's gators.
Yeah, it is a gator. There he goes. You see him swimming? Come over here so you can catch him.
What a cool fight. I love that. Thank you. And your outfit, I have matching socks. Ooh, she's got strawberries.
Oh, there's the alligator. And
That's
it's not
definitely.
eating anything.
Yeah. He's not chewing, but I don't know. Maybe he swallowed it, huh? Could have just been them fighting. You know how they are. They get violent with each other.
We, over on the other side, on the back pond, saw one that was a very large alligator eating a smaller alligator.
No kidding. I did not know they ate each
A
other.
couple years ago.
He's a cannibal gator, eh?
Yep.
Cool bicycle.
Kind of crazy, man.
And wear a helmet just in case I fall down.
That's a good idea. I've been thinking about getting mine out too.
Excuse me.
They tell me don't fall down. I can't fall down anymore.
Wow.
Statins. Only reason somebody would tell you not to ride a bicycle is because they're on statins.
Actually, I'd make a comment that walking is extremely good for osteoporosis and working on your joints and ligaments as you get older. The weight bearing that you get from walking, combined with the fact that it keeps your hips, your back, your spine, and your feet and everything in alignment, actually contributes to better bone health, where as you get older, if you do fall and have problems, you're much better off with, fractures. Like, reduces them significantly from the data that I've read.
This is true, but I'd be willing to bet money that she was talking about it because she has statins. If they don't want you to fall, it's because they don't want you to fall and bleed.
Yeah.
They don't want you to cause a bleed because they can't stop it once you're on statins.
Yeah.
The blood thinners.
Yes. Come on. Covering the cab. Stay behind me. They're terrible habits we have to adjust. Good morning. How you doing?
At the end of the boardwalk, just to the right, there's a gator.
We
Excellent,
heard
thank
he's
you.
out.
Yeah.
He's sunbathing. We got to get him on cam.
Only like 10, 15 feet away.
Cool. Good
Cool.
deal. Thank you, my friend. So I'm sad that Brandon Graham is injured. Apparently he tore his triceps and he'll be out for the rest of the season, but honestly, he might be gone. Like, that might be the end of his career. He's getting up there.
Well, I really liked what he said. The fact that he took an interview right after. He had such a good game. And then that happens towards the end of the game. He takes interviews in the locker room.
Yep.
And he talks about trusting God. He FaceTimed with his family and comforted his crying children. He was making jokes in the locker room when he couldn't get his jersey off.
All right, we ready to go play with the gator? Where's the sign that says do not molest gators? There he is. Shall we?
Yeah, this is his spot that he likes to come out.
He does like to sunbathe here.
And I've gotten really close to him and he never seemed bothered by me.
Hi, baby. Hello, my friend. Look at all the green on top of him from swimming in that water.
Oh yeah, he's got all the pieces stuck to him. It's good camouflage.
Oh, yeah. He's very clever that way. Well, he's cool, isn't he? Hey, buddy. I promise I won't molest you anymore. Just want to say hi.
No gator molesting.
Look at his top foot tucked in. You see that?
Oh yeah, it's kind of like how Puka lays
Yeah,
sometimes.
he's doing Paul Tucky, like Puka, my cat.
Mm-hmm.
Not-
I wish I could pet him.
Not Puka Nakua from the Rams. Puka, my cat.
Puka the kitty.
Puka the kitty.
Puka Bera.
Bye-bye. Puka Nabera would be a great name. So he was consoling his kids because they were upset that he had been injured and his season was over, maybe his career. Like, what kind of a man?
And then
If
top
only,
all that.
if only I could be that brave and tough, man. I admire guys like him. I aspire to be something like him. What a dude.
Yeah. And so then, on top of all that, this all happens last night, by the way. All of this is last night because the game was last night.
Yeah, late last night. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Or
like,
early this morning, depending on our time
depending
zone.
on where you are. Yeah, for us, it was close on midnight. All this
Yeah.
stuff happens. And so for an Eagles player, they're East Coast time zone people. So even if they are in LA and it was only 9 o'clock or whatever, it feels late when you're from Philly.
Yep.
So he does all that last night. And then he even says that he is going to remain as captain and mentor these young players.
Once again, that's the kind of man he is, man. You can tell me all you want about talent, but in my humble opinion, without heart, you cannot be elite in the NFL or anything. Doesn't matter what you're doing, without heart, like the proper heart. And you know what I mean by that? Ooh, we're baking up over here.
Oh, yeah.
That was good.
Cooking something up,
Not yet. They're
getting it ready.
yeah, getting fired up, so to speak.
Getting it ready.
Quite literally.
All right. Yeah, see, that's another thing we can do with our camping is we can just bring charcoal briquettes and go and light them up at somebody else's grill. We don't
Yeah.
need to use our own grill.
For sure.
What you guys making? Anything good?
Steak.
Nice. Are you camping or is there a special occasion or what?
Well, no camping.
Well, then they must be at home.
Other than that, just
Well, I mean, like, are you on the road and looking for a place to cook your food? Just having fun. Cool. I love it. Well, have fun. I hope they're delicious.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Oh, what a beautiful park. Some people being romantic over here. I aspire that Jill and I, when we're older, 80 years old, we'll be like that.
Were we talking at the same time?
That's a good point. I was quiet during the beginning of it, and when you walked away, I think I started talking. But you're right, we might get cross feedback on our microphones. We'll have
It's
to,
not feedback. It's just it's recording them to the same audio file.
we can break our voices out, I think. The two of them, right? I'm not sure about that. We'll have to
It depends.
dig into it.
So I did buy a cheap microphone. This is a cheap setup that we have going on. Not the cheapest,
Right.
but it's not the high. Yeah. There are features, certain features like split channeling. I do not think comes with this. However, we are recording in stereo, so it's possible that I could break the left and right channel. Possible, but I do not know.
We will have to figure that out.
We will have to figure it out. It would be really good because I could envision or guess that one of our voices will need to be turned down. And I'm guessing it's mine.
Are you saying that you get loud on occasion?
It's more that I can be a little bit more shrill sounding.
I don't think shrill is the word I'd use, but okay.
It could be just that I'm a misogynist, though.
Okay.
It's more a female voice thing, the higher tones. It's not misogyny. Well, I do have some misogyny problems, but that's really what it is my autism and my
Prefer
sensitivity.
the sound of men speaking in general speak, but when it comes to like singing, for example, I just think women have better voices that way. So, not always, but like just think of like sopranos singing opera, for example.
Sure, but the tenors, the three tenors.
Yeah.
I don't know, like Pavarotti. Like
His name Luciano Pavarotti, something like that. For a long time.
Yeah, so I don't know, but I think for me personally, it's definitely my autism sensitivity makes it so that higher pitches bother me more than lower pitches.
Well, then opera's probably not your cup of tea.
Opera's okay. I don't mean I can't hear higher tones. I don't know. It's just it gets on my nerves occasionally, the
For
higher
sure.
tones.
Good morning.
Hi.
Jersey Shore.
Monmouth.
It's our old stomping grounds.
I almost went to school up there.
In Monmouth?
Yeah. It wasn't, I think it was Monmouth College was one of the ones that I was considering. They had a good music program.
For those that are uncertain of the context of this conversation, we grew up in New Jersey, the South Side. Speaking of that, there's a line in the middle. North is Giants fans, and the south part below Trenton is actually Eagles fans, and that's where we grew up.
And Jets fans are just confused.
Who? What team? Thought Aaron Rodgers was going to make the Jets a contender. I laughed. I said, you could put Tom Brady out there and he would get crushed. Prime Tom Brady. Just an awful team. We talked about management of the team earlier tonight, and that is exactly what the Jets have as a problem as well. And they just draft poorly. They let people go when they shouldn't. They're poorly run. And that is why no amount of pasting someone big in there will fix the problem of what they are. And rant. So we're talking about Monmouth.
Were we?
Yeah, you were talking about college up there.
Yeah.
Meh. What type
Nothing
of college?
really fascinating. No, it's just they had a good music college.
Was it operatic college?
It would have, well, that was the thing. Is like, that's why I didn't really want to go to a music conservatory or be in a music program unless I could do musical theater. That's why I wanted to go to Boston Conservatory so much, because I had already done the classical voice training with several voice teachers, and I already did like the opera type of training, and they wouldn't let me sing musical theater, and I didn't want to sing any more opera. I wanted to sing musical theater.
At least they didn't tell you it was a trend.
What, that musical theater was a fad?
Back in the 90s, my wife went to college and she wanted some type of certification or degree in HTML coding and preparing websites. And they told her, no, that is a fad, period. And
the internet.
The internet.
The internet
is a fad.
That's what the University of Maryland at College Park Computer Sciences program told me in 1998. Not like 98 is not that.
Computers weren't ubiquitous at that point, though. So
they were. I
think by 96, you could get on the internet pretty regularly.
By 98, lots of people had AOL.
Yep.
Prodigy was very strong at the time.
Man, we grew up in the wild west of the internet, didn't we? You and me.
Showing our age.
I don't give a shit.
Yahoo was huge by 1998. There was a lot that was full on huge by 1998. And I really feel like I could have made a splash more. I did pretty well though. I got my director of web design job in 1999. Taught myself all that stuff.
Did it end up being a fad, or was it the beginning of the future?
Well, I mean, you could say maybe University of Maryland predicted the dot-com bubble, because the bubble did burst in like 2001.
After getting fabulously wealthy from all of it.
After a lot of people won and lost a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. That's true. There's always losers when you're gambling.
Yep.
I'll say one more thing. We're almost on our walk here. But be wary of logical fallacies, in particular, the fallacy of coming in with, I have a certification. Because, frankly, the same people who told Jill that the internet was a fad are the ones giving these degrees out. And therefore, you just can't assume that they're all super intelligent beings by default of being there.
Just because they're
there.
Credentials.
Yeah. Trying to remember the name of the actual logical fallacy.
Appeal to authority?
Appeal to authority. I think that's what it's called. Yep. And it's probably the most commonly used one. And be wary, listeners. Like, people use this crap all the time on you. You got to do your own research. You are your own entity. Everything that my wife and I say, we're not doctors. We are people who read a lot and try things and experiment and talk with our friends and family and neighbors and share with the internet about these things and come to conclusions and try to read science the best we can.
I have to say that if you find value in anything that I put forward, that 90% of it comes from my logic brain and not even from reading something specifically. It's like people have failed to use logic to do critical thinking.
Great. We are here. Thank you for walking with us today at John Chesnut Park. Unfortunately, we didn't really have any cute birdies, no alley sightings, no deer, It was a very uneventful day, but I thought the conversation was pretty good. How'd you feel about it?
I mean, I always like to talk about birds.
Especially the green birds. We have to find an eagle nest like that Chris Farley movie that we can climb up and check out. Maybe get assaulted repeatedly by it. That was such a good movie. It was Almost Heroes, I think was the name of it. Sorry. Yeah, that was the name. Anyway, thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you soon. Love you all. Have a great day.